All right, I'm gonna make a video. This is gonna be for pop and indie alternative music that I bought in, I believe we're in June or July. I'll put it up on the screen. You'll know which one it is. First record I bought was Matthew Sweet. This is Earl's Daughter. Yeah, this is an album that I think he made after or during Tomorrow Forever. These might be like tracks that were just kind of left over. This album's okay. It's definitely not as good as Tomorrow Forever, and it's definitely not one of the best Matthew Sweet records, but there's some good stuff on here. Some of it's just okay. Yeah, I pretty much buy every Matthew Sweet record, so I'm just a huge fan. So yeah, this one is a little disappointing for me though. Now this album is excellent. It's like a 4.5 out of 5. It is really, really, really good. And this band is called Bleached. And this is Welcome the Worms. I'm gonna play actually a couple songs or maybe 2 or 3 songs from these guys after this, after I show this, because this album is great. This is kind of like alternative, grunge, grungy a little bit. It reminds you a little bit, I think they toured with like Slater-Kinney around when this album came out. They did a really good job on this record. There's a lot of really, really good songs on here. Just very melodic, excellent hard rock, alternative hard rock from these girls. Fantastic album. Singing is great, songwriting is great. Highly recommend this one. Really, really good stuff here. This album I just... This album I just listened to again before I made this video. It's actually my second time making this video because I didn't really listen to all the albums in here, and I felt like I didn't have a real something clear to say about each album. And this album, this Urge Overkill record, Exit the Dragon, this doesn't have really any singles or hits on it, but this album is excellent. Oh man, I really, really, really enjoyed listening to this. It's alternative rock, just like, Saturation, or any other alternative rock from the 90s. And this album is fantastic. This is their second album on Geffen. I think Saturation was on Geffen. So yeah, this was kind of like a big deal for them. Like this was going to be like, 'cause Saturation was kind of big. It had the song from Pulp Fiction on it, the Neil Diamond cover, and Girl, You're Gonna Be a Woman Soon or whatever. Excellent song, excellent album. I would definitely listen to Saturation over this, but if you love Saturation or you like it, this album is really, really good. There are no real singles or hit songs on here, but it's just, the songs are just really good. I don't know what it is. It really just clicked with me this last time that I listened to it. Really, really fantastic album. I highly recommend this, actually, and I hope it gets a repress because I don't think this album is available except for the original press from the 90s. This is 1995, so really, really good record. Some really good songs on here, and I think I'm going to be able to play a couple that I enjoyed, from listening to this just recently. All right, we're going to get into the 70s now, and 70s and 60s for the rest of this. And this is kind of like pop music, but this is Linda Ronstadt's greatest hits. Excellent, excellent album. This is an album that I listened to when I was a kid, enjoyed this. This was my mom's record. This particular copy wasn't, but my mom had this record and I listened to it a ton of times, and it just has excellent songs. Part 2 is also good as well. Bobby Gentry, Ode to Billy Joe. This is a really cool record. I highly recommend listening to the podcast, Cocaines and Rhinestones. Find this episode on Bobby Gentry and listen to it. It is fantastic. Her story is amazing. Really, really good stuff. Definitely listen to that podcast. Fascinating stuff. A lot of different artists that he covers on Cocaines and Rhinestones are really, really cool. But the Bobby Gentry story is really good as well. And the Ode to Billy Joe song, it was such a huge hit. It was kind of a crossover hit, kind of got into the pop charts as well, I think. Just fantastic. There was a movie made about it, just the song, which is pretty amazing. That doesn't happen very frequently. And Really, really good stuff on here. Really good production too. They added a lot of effects with trains and, just additional sounds and violins and stuff under her songs, which just kind of gave them I don't know, a lot more oomph to them. Really good stuff. This is... And Mama hollered at the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. And then she said, I got some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today, Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas, well, Billy Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40 I got to plow. And Mama said it was a shame about Billy Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billy Joe McAllister's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Really good stuff. This is Cold Blood. This is Lydia Pence on the front here. She's a singer. This is kind of like a funk, pop record. Lots of horns, soul, kind of stuff in there. But still, pretty good stuff. It's okay. You can probably get this record for like a couple bucks in the bins. It's not bad. There's a couple of these records that are like this. Just lots of horns, her singing soulful stuff, all kinds of, they're mostly cover songs on here. She redoes I Just Want to Make Love to You, which is pretty good. So it's an okay record. Now, Claudine is interesting. These are my dollar records. These last 4 records are records that I got for $1. If you ever see these in the bins, buy these. This is just like pop music from the early 60s, or from late 60s as well, 67. Claudine, just kind of a crooner. She's a French crooner, though. She sings some of her songs in French, and she has a heavy accent when she sings, which is kind of cool. Some spoken word stuff. Her story is really interesting. She was married to a Olympian skier, and she ended up shooting him and killing him. And she claims it was an accident while he was cleaning the gun or whatever. So there's some controversy around Claudine and that particular, murder or manslaughter. She ended up getting off. A jury ended up letting her off on the charges. So I guess she's innocent. But yeah, interesting story with Claudine. But yeah, this is kind of cool stuff. It's late 60s. Just pop music, lots of covers on here as well. There's a Beatles cover here, there, and everywhere is on here. A couple other songs on here. All these songs are covers. Lots of these albums were these, female singers or male singers even did records like this, these pop records. There was just a lot of cover songs. And
c'est toi, la petite fille que je tenais dans mes bras. C'est toi, le petit garçon qui jouait sur le sable. Quand vous avez grandi, les jours se suivent, les années passent, pleines de bonheur.
And here's another Claudine record, Colors. This is from '68. This is her next record. Another one that's pretty cool. Just, you know, pop music from the late '60s. Just her singing to violins, you know, things like that. Just poppy stuff, and I'll play some stuff just in case you're curious about what this stuff sounds like. It's pretty interesting listen. They're okay. I mean, for $1, it's not bad. And And I got a couple Streisand records. This is the second Barbra Streisand record. She has couple songs out here that are really cool. There's a song, Like a Straw in the Wind is really good. And the first song, is it the first song on side one? Gotta Move. Yeah, a couple songs out here, really great. She belts out like on Straw in the Wind, man. She just kills that fucking song. Really, really, really good stuff. For Barbra Streisand, anyway. This one's...
What I wanted the most winds up a ghostly memory. My man is gone, and when your man is gone, your world just falls apart. So any place I hang my heart is home.
This one, Simply Streisand, I couldn't even find a clip of this one that I really wanted to. This album was kind of disappointing to me. It's a lot of cover songs for maybe musicals and stuff like that. It's just more slow paced. She really doesn't belt out anything on here, and there's no like really interesting songs on here, but it's okay. And that's all I bought for pop records and indie alternative records from this month. Cool, thanks, bye.